Golf's no different from hockey. Requires talent, self-discipline.
Golf requires goofy pants and a fat ass. You should talk to my neighbor, the accountant, probably a great golfer, huge ass.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers? By height.
It's a very, very special honor.
I'm Paula Creamer, and you're listening.
Well, we're waiting.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, a.k.a. John Kreese from Cobra Kai, and you're listening to
Quiet, Please.
Let the word go out from here across the land. Let Daddy Noonan approve.
Hi, boys. Nice day for golf, ain't it? Quiet, please. Oh, you got secrets, eh?
Hey, this is Shooter McGavin. You're listening to the...
Hey, you guys. Hey, we're trying to have a podcast over here.
And things are heating up in the golf world, and I'm not talking on the tours. I'm talking anywhere on the East Coast. It was a whopping 106 as I jumped into my vehicle today. Heat index of 115. Got you beat down in Houston, Mr. Andy Hydorn.
Yes, we are cooler than you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you are. I did a shooter there. You see that? Double pistols. Joining us from a little hiatus, Boston Bob Baldessari.
I missed you so much. It's been so fun.
I missed you more.
You know, so Andy and I back home in Massachusetts, where it was one of the golf courses closed at 11 a.m. today because of the heat. So, and yeah.
Which one?
Matt Griffith out at Westboro. I'm on their email list. And I see this morning we're closing at 11 because the heat index will be 110 and it's too dangerous for a golfer. I've never seen that. I mean,
oh my God.
It's good for, safety of the golfers, but, Andy and I from the Bay State, we would call this what kind of heat, Randy?
Wicked heat.
Wicked hot heat.
Wicked hot indeed. Wicked hot indeed. I did the double pistols because I was actually thinking it was tomorrow, but sadly, I got to wait another month. I got to wait till July 25 for Happy Gilmore 2 to hit the airwaves. I was waiting for it. I was hoping. And the reason I am because I've been now watching Stick. You guys watch Stick?
Yes. Not really digging it.
Yeah. They're trying too hard to be slapstick comedy.
I couldn't agree more. I think they're trying way too hard. And they're trying too hard to be golf relevant when they're just not. I mean, they're kind of trying to talk the lingo, and they're making a lot of bogeys.
Oh, look at that. Joe Bonet's chiming in. AD back in action. Yeah. Why can't I see your comment on the screen, Joey? What's up with that? Oh, wait a minute.
I don't see it.
I don't either. But I see it over on the Instagram feed. Wow. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I'll monitor that. I'll be able to talk to Joe on that side as well. So anyway, Bobby, it begs the question. Favorite golf movie?
Favorite would be got to go Caddyshack.
All-time classic. Andy?
Yeah, I'm going Caddyshack too.
Where does Bagger Vance rank in that?
I like Bagger Vance better than Happy Gilmore. I like Bagger Vance better than Tin Cup.
I'd agree.
The reason other than watching Stick, other than that, I'm seeing a lot of Facebook feeds for Bagger lately, and I'm like,
it may or may not have anything to do with Charlize Theron. I don't know. I don't know.
I like the way we dance.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get my movie made, which will blow them all away.
There you go.
Bobby, so can you share anything where you've been? I mean, we saw you for a couple of weeks with the Legends of the LPGA, and which I know had you obviously extremely busy. Back in the saddle, you notice we do have comments coming in, but I don't know why Instagram's not showing up on the feed. That's really bothering me. So anyway, where were you? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we at the Woodford Club, we had the LPGA Legends. Went great comments from everyone. A lot of players say this is their favorite event now, or the Legends Tour. So that's a good thing. So we've already started working on next year. And then I went right from the Legends right into the North American Conference with the International Association of Golf Tour Operators. So my wife Pam and I were down there with Kentucky Golf Trail. We had about 41 meetings with international golf tour operators. So I think we're going to zoom and hockey stick this Kentucky Golf Trail pretty darn quick. So you want the best bourbon, you want the best horses, you want fantastic golf, you want a total experience. Kentucky Golf Trail is going to deliver.
Are you feeling like you guys are getting some momentum behind it?
Yeah, we're booking not every week, but continual packages coming in now. We're getting hits.
Would that be Kentucky Golf Trails at kygolftrail.com?
KY Golf Trail. Yeah, by the way, kygolftrail.com is the website.
Just came to me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're brilliant.
Just came to me.
The neat thing was, there's internet Argentina, Poland, 2 from England, Spain, Portugal. We met with people around the world that don't really. There was a gentleman from China that knew Kentucky Fried Chicken was from Kentucky, which was cool. But nobody knew where. I had to show the map to some degree, but they know horses and bourbon, and they love the experiential fact that this is different than all the other places they've seen. So, yeah, I think we already got some good momentum. I think we birdied the first hole, Andy.
That's great to hear.
Right out of the gate.
When I've spent a little bit of time in China, Kentucky Fried Chicken is all over the place in China. It is.
I got to share a little funny. So there's a big Halloween thing in Lambertville, New Jersey, right up the road from us, and I dressed as the Colonel. And needless to say, I had my little chicken dressed as a chicken walking right beside me.
Heather was the chicken?
Heather was laying eggs. She was dropping eggs as we walked.
That's hilarious.
Classic.
Did you have your little monocle?
I did. I'll have to find a picture and see if I can share it.
That's awesome.
So, Bobby, welcome back. How did the Legends go? All good?
Yeah, Legends are great. I think we're their favorite stop now. A lot of great players we had. It went really well. Hey, raised a lot of money for KBC Kentucky as well. So everything we hit on, we're already working on next year. So more. We'll have more Laura Davies and Trish Johnson on again. Pat Bradley we had on. Pat was probably pretty lucky because then Keegan wins this week.
Yeah.
Was that a segue?
I put here. Where's my tea? I thought I had a tea right here. I was going to put a ball.
Oh wait, did Keegan win this week? So much to talk about there. So much. So Andy, either one of you guys, we're all New Englanders. We kicked off our New Yorkers tonight. So, I mean, Captain Comeback, Captain or Tommy Falter. What say you?
I want to talk about Tommy first.
All right.
Only because we discuss a lot in the show about the mental game and what happens when you're kind of under the gun, and I always say that you're always on the brink of disaster, right? But in a lot of cases, you lose by paper cuts, and Tommy lost by paper cuts.
Yeah.
He just made little mistakes here and there that didn't kill him, but in the end, they added up to enough to stop him from winning. And I'll just go to the last hole where he hits an unbelievable tee ball. Perfect drive. He's got 147 in, and it's a little uphill. It's into a pretty good breeze, and he chooses wedge. Now, I'm okay with him choosing wedge if he thinks it's the right club, but he chose wedge and then, yanked it to the front of the green, the front left, where he knew, he could carry it. But to me, like, if you look at what he did there and then look at how Keegan attacked it, Keegan was 10 yards closer and hit 9-iron. So at the end of the day, I think Tommy just made a couple maybe poor decisions. topped off by substandard execution. And, you blink your eyes and Keegan's getting it up and down from 140 yards to win.
I want to take a very unpopular opinion here in a second, but Bobby, go ahead and chime in first, and then I'd like to jump on something. Nothing Andy said, just my own thoughts.
Yeah, I ended up tuning in right when they were on the 18th tee, and I'm thinking there's no way Tommy Fleetwood feels any pressure, any nerves, because I thought back to his tee shot on that drivable par 4 at the Ryder Cup in Rome, and I thought if he did that shot, he's never going to be nervous again pulling that shot off. So I figured he's going to hit a decent drive. Yeah, they said wedge or something, and I just thought that's not enough club because he chokes down anyways, and he does that hold off swing, and I'm like, maybe if it's the green into the wind, it's going to spin back. But I did see on X. Did you guys see? There's a really, really super close up of that putt he made, and it hits a mark, and it just wiggles right.
Yep.
It's just, I think he's going to win on tour, and he's done well in the Ryder Cup. I mean, he does that well in the team stuff, but he's just, I don't know. He's got that bug up. He's got the dark cloud over him.
All right. Before I dissect it, because I flipped it on when I think I got back from the course about 14th hole, and I watched just, as Andy, as you said, just poor execution. Everybody kept giving him opportunities to put it away, and he just couldn't he blocks it dead right. They all blocked it dead right. They took the safe route on drivable par 4. He draws the best lie out of everybody and basically comes up 30 feet short of the flag. Next hole, drills it over the green, chips it back, 3, that misses the putt, which is when is that when Keegan pulled even with him? I can't recall, and then we get to 18, and here's where I have a problem. And I have a problem, and I'm going to show my age with the golf bro mentality that's out there. So come at me, Joe Benesh, who's listening to us right now, you little Gen Zer. So my problem is he takes out whatever club he took out, and he went back and he changed clubs. And you could hear audibly from the gallery, "Oh, Tommy, indecision, Tommy." Root for the player. Don't root against. This isn't the Ryder Cup bullshit.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I have a problem with that. Andy, and you?
That's terrible. I didn't really hear that. But back to your point, you just listed off all the paper cuts that cost him and it was going back to 15, right? He draws a good lie over there on the right, but he's afraid to hit it past the hole, that back left pin, so he leaves it 40 feet short, right? Then he gets to the next hole, and I don't know what they were doing on the next hole. I mean, it's 155, and they're hitting it 40 yards over the green. 40 yards. So I'm sorry, but that's a lot to be off. And I understand that there's water in front, but be off by 10. Don't be off by 40. I mean, I don't get that. Another mistake, right? And then he makes up and down on 17, and then the 2 mistakes on 18 with the club selection. And then the first putt was, 6 feet, 8 inches from the hole. But he didn't implode. He just, had bricks knocked off of his foundation.
Bobby, if he was playing in a better ball, he could not have left himself in a better position for Keegan to read that line.
Oh, yeah. I figured Keegan was going to make it after that. And I do like the way he played that hole and he attacked the pin. I mean, sometimes you just got to go for it. Last hole, yeah, he was down by 1, but still, now the whole thing is like, is Keegan going to be a playing captain or not? And all the admin stuff that goes with it, and he's the semi-coach of the team. And I don't know if he's playing like this, it'd be hard not to want to, you'd want him on your team.
So I've referenced him because he's actually one of our employees and a stick. Now he's going to get a big head. But Joe's just chimed in on Instagram. At the end of the day, 2 putts for the win. Got to get it done there.
2 putts for the tie.
2 putts for the tie. Ooh, yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, stand corrected there, Joe.
Come on, Joe. But he's right. I mean, like all that other crap aside, 2-putt from 40 feet.
Yep.
You don't leave and I know he's on the fringe, but you don't leave a 40-footer 6 feet 8 inches short. Like that's a big gaff.
Bobby, you touched on it. Ryder Cup. You say he's sitting at 9. Does he select himself? And Pat said yes.
My first inclination was because when you look at the Ryder Cup and you go with the hot player, and so he wins if he plays well another couple of events, and he embraces that Ryder Cup. He loves that Ryder Cup. I mean, that's the guy you want on your team. And the way they've got things set up, you got John Wood, who's the manager. You've got 17 assistant captains. I mean, I think he can pull it off to play. I know there's some duties and obligations, and you're busy, and there's a lot going on. But I don't know. I think there's strong consideration for him to play.
Andy,
look, I want to go a little different direction here because I feel like this was a huge gaffe by the PGA of America to choose him as a captain for this exact reason. They made the choice because they knew they screwed up and didn't give him a spot. Not that it was their decision. It was Zach Johnson's decision. But, now you're putting him in a really bad position. And I know that sounds a little strange because he's been given the honor to be the captain of the U.S. team. But they're putting him in a bad position because he was 2 years ago, and he's clearly still now, one of the best 12 players that this country has. And now he's in a little bit of a tough spot. So I think it's such a knee-jerk reaction to give it to him, to give the captaincy to him at this age.
I agree. Two strange decisions by the PGA of America this week when you look at it. For sure.
All right, well, I'll chime in. I think he does. If he's top 9, I think he picks himself. Top 12, if he slips, I mean, then it opens up that can. And of course, if you believe the social keyboard warriors, they're like, is it time for Tiger to step up as an assistant captain? Maybe.
I just don't think, trying to put myself in his position, like being fully invested in the captaincy and having to play, that's too much for one person.
I mean, there's a lot going on. But again, they had the support system from the inside is crazy.
Right.
I'll leave it at that. There's crazy support. There's an unbelievable structure in place. Not that you're not busy and doing stuff. There's a lot of media, some meetings, things like that. And if he didn't play every match, but I just think it would be pretty interesting. And again, I think there's high consideration. He's got to think about it seriously. Yeah, I agree. If he just goes in the tank the next couple of months, that's different. But
we didn't even touch on up in Connecticut the third guy in that group, Russell Henley, who
boring.
I mean,
boring.
I'm one of the top players in the world, but did he chop it down the stretch?
He missed some really bad putts.
I mean, yeah.
He chopped that chip in on the last hole.
He did. He did get that done. But and the reason I say that is I just pulled up the rankings. Scotty Xander, JJ, Russell Henley, who actually moved up 3 spots, sitting in the 4. Bryson at the 5, and JT at the 6. Bryson obviously only has the Open Championship left to make any kind of, move or to stay up at the top. And then that begs the question what to do there.
He's in regardless.
I would agree. I would hope so. And then Morikawa, Ben Griffin, Keegan, Harris English, Maverick, and Brian Harmon. And Novak, Cantley, and Burns are chasing them. Brian.
I think we're going to get slaughtered. I think the European team is so much better than the bottom half of our team.
Well, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because I just clicked onto Instagram and Joey B here. Step down as captain, give it to Tiger, and play in the Ryder Cup.
I'm not sure giving it to Tiger is a possibility, but all the rest of what he said, I kind of agree with.
Yeah, when you were reading off those names, I just thought, fine players do not strike fear.
No.
You don't think Ben Griffin, Harris English, and Maverick are going to strike fears, and Tommy Fleetwood and Rory and Victor Hovland? or Ludwig?
Maybe on Halloween they would, but that's about it.
No.
Look, and to further that conversation, right? You know how much a factor is home country advantage is. So, maybe that's the ultimate deciding factor here. But I think if you put both those teams on paper, it doesn't look favorable for the U.S. team.
Well, I gave you those. So let me give you the other side of this. Rory, Lowry, Sepp Straka, Rasmus Hogart, Tyrrell Hatton, Tommy Fleetwood. Top 6. You want the next? Here we go. Yep. Ludwig, Justin, Thomas Dietrich. Wow, I didn't think he'd be up there that high. Matt Wallace, Robert McIntyre, and Nicholas Nogart. And Victor Hovland sitting at 13.
Yeah.
I just think they're stronger.
So JJ Spawn, what number is he?
Sitting at 3.
Oh, Spawn's at 3. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's in, right? I mean, theoretically, he can't. There's almost no way he can drop out of the.
No.
Yeah, top 3 are basically in.
Yep.
And Joe's chiming in again, says Maverick's the man. For every good shot Joe's hitting tonight, he then lays the sod over one.
And I love a lot of the U.S. players that are in that, kind of 8 to 20 range. Like there's a lot of good young guys, Maverick being one of them. But I just feel like you got to get lucky that the guys that you pick that are on the fringe are going to perform.
Well, so let me give you some more. Let me give you down to like 20 in early 20s, let's say, just because somebody may catch a heater here down the stretch. I mentioned Burns, Hoge, Cameron Young, Daniel Berger, Tammy Finau at 19, Lucas Glover wielding his lab putter, Denny McCarthy wielding always a hot putter, moved up 4 spots, by the way. Wyndham, I smashed a Locker Clark and Ashke.
See, I like some of those guys better than I like some of the guys who are below them.
Yep, I agree.
And can people stop calling him Ashke? Please.
Oh. What did I call it? Did I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Akshay.
My deep.
K before S.
I before E. I before E, except after.
Yes. Everybody does that. Everyone calls him Ashke.
Okay. Well, my apologies. I'm sorry.
Hey, at least you didn't
correct
it. You didn't call Pat Bradley James.
Look at who's chiming in tonight. Look at can you see that on the screen, boys?
I do see that one.
No. Sorry, I missed my boys tonight. BE.
Oh, there he is.
There's a couple empty spots on this home screen.
Yeah, seriously, I'm seeing empty spots right there, right beneath us there.
Right beneath the lone cypress.
Does Brendan have a question?
B's on dad duty tonight.
Yeah.
We miss BE.
BE's a busy.
BE is
He's a busy little BE.
Yes, he is. His articles are everywhere. If you want to, I guarantee you probably read 14 of his articles in the last month or two in golf. If you're on the
social media.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
But it's unbelievable, honestly. You know, while we're on the subject, you know, he kind of had a vision, and he turned his vision into a reality, and he's one of the hottest golf writers in the business right now.
I completely agree. Much respect for our friend.
Yep.
And that doesn't even count what he's doing now with the Breakthrough Alliance.
True.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, I'm going to shameless plug for that. Big member for a day auction coming up.
We'll be auctioning off a round of golf at the Champions Golf Club here in Houston, Texas.
Will that be with anyone we know?
It'll be with yours truly.
There you go. So if you want to play with Andy Hydorn, just hop online and bid.
Such a treat. Let me tell you.
You can come to Kentucky on the Kentucky Golf Trail and join me. I think Christian wants some bourbon, so he's probably going to bid on that.
And if you want to feel good about your golf game, come to Eagle Ridge, play with me, and smack me like a rented mule.
And we have ice towels at Eagle Ridge.
Oh my God. I know my face is so red right now on the screen. I'm just so hot.
Your face is red.
It is red.
All right. So you know where else was warm? Can we talk about Texas? Can we talk about Frisco finally getting a major?
Sure.
Yep.
Bobby, what major would that be?
The KPMG Women's PGA Championship.
Oh.
Held on the Fields Ranch East at PGA Frisco.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I was there last October doing the PGA Junior League Championship, and it was late October, and it was pretty darn warm in October. And, you know, with the move of the PGA to Texas, this was on the horizon that some of these majors were going to be in this, you know, pretty hot weather. So I think the weather was the big story. And then the comments from the players, I mean, I don't remember the one player's name, but she was even hammering Gil Hans and the design. And I mean, it was a lot of pretty critical comments about course setup, hosting it down there, the wind, the heat. I don't know. That was it wasn't a good debut.
You know, I think the wind was really, really blowing all week. And I think that was the number one contributor to how difficult, you know, the tournament ended up being for the girls, because there was one person broke heart?
Two players.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough. They were struggling.
It's funny.
Minjee, let's throw out some mad respect here. Minjee Lee collects her third major now, and she is one. The women still think of four, even though they play five. They think of four as the Grand Slam, so she's now literally missing one.
Yep.
Can't remember which one though it is. I know she won the Women's Open at Pine Needles a few years back, but she's in rare air right now, Bobby.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It probably had to do more with course setup, because here's another thing that's I find interesting. In what, a couple of weeks or whatever, they're going to play this golf event over the pond, and it might be 40-mile-an-hour winds, and everybody embraces it, and it's not hit knockdowns. And over at the Open Championship, they look at the wind vastly different. Maybe it's because of the guys. Maybe it's course setup. I do think the course setup contributed to whatever was going on with the high scores. You know, we've all played in some windy gusts, so you think at that level you can adapt to that. I know the heat was really intense. That was legit. But I don't know. You know, when people go over to England, Scotland, they see the brown turf and they go, "Isn't this lovely?" And they see the bunkering, "Isn't this great?" And then they come to the United States and they want green, they want perfect bunkering. I just find that interesting.
Well, they play the ground game. I mean, I've not played overseas. Andy, you are in rare air here. You played overseas and you live in Texas, so you can comment on both. So, obviously the wind blows. The only time I played in Texas is in the hill country around Austin. So can't really tell you about playing knockdown shots other than one or two. Are Texas golf courses, they produce the opportunity to run it up a lot, or most of them fly it in?
You know, it's vastly different climates in Texas. I'm in Houston, and we live in a tropical climate here, so it's not like Dallas. Dallas is very dry. It's usually more windy. It's definitely a different climate there than we're much more humid. Usually not as much wind, although we've had a lot of wind this year, blowing on the golf course from the south. But it just it's different in different places, but very typical of northern Texas to be, that dry, windy golf. And that's basically what you saw last week.
But can they play the ground game like you see over in the UK?
No, I mean, the courses aren't designed like that. They're just not. But I don't believe that it's even a remotely similar climate either. I mean, like the UK generally has, kind of winds that are pretty consistent, consistently strong, consistently from the same direction, and the courses are designed, to have into the wind holes and downwind holes. And like you talked about, run-ups and playing the ball on the ground. I just don't think there's any of that really here. There is one golf course, Trinity Forest in the Dallas area, that's kind of made to be like that. But they're few and far between.
That's Tiger, the one Tiger did?
No, Tiger did Blue Jack National.
Who did? Oh, that's right. I was thinking, who did Trinity Forest? Is that?
I want to say that might be like a Gil Hands or one of those guys, maybe.
Let me just throw out a couple of more things here about Minjee. I mean, she basically, let's see, she took home $1.8 million from the record-tying $12 million purse. And there has not been a repeat winner. There's an interesting talking point. There's not been a repeat winner on the LPGA this year. 16 different winners.
Wow.
Parity, like the NFL?
So
Similar.
So this was the tournament last year that was at Congressional, correct?
Was this one at Congressional, or was this?
That might have been Sahali. Or was that?
I just remember them having a really kind of traditional venue and then going to a constructed destination.
I thought they were up here. I should know this. I thought they were up here at Aronimink recently.
I thought the KPMG was at Congressional. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think Bobby's looking it up for us.
It was Sahali last year.
Must have been Congressional the year before.
Yeah, Danny, you're exactly right. And I think Stacey Lewis made the comment, look at the rotation we've been on lately, the Aronimink, Sahali, Congressional, like big Baltusrol, all these iconic, just incredible golf courses. And then you go to, that Fields Ranch. So it's as part of the deal with the PGA going in there, bringing in PGA Championship, Senior PGA, everybody's saying a Ryder Cup at some point. I've been there. It's not the prettiest golf course. I mean, I drove around I've been
there too.
Yeah, the huge putting area is kind of fun. There's a couple of neat things, but when you drive the golf course, and I haven't played it, but I drove it a lot because I was out there as a rules official. But yeah,
I want to tee one up for you. Did they drop the L to streamline expenses?
Yeah, well. Let me tell you, the Legends players that were here at our club, there were more than a few comments about everything from "that's a shame. Why is there not LPGA? That's our event." And I know some. I don't know everything. I know some of the dynamics that went into this, and the idea was to elevate that women's game, but to drop the L, then there's a lot of the players that feel they've lost the identity, the history, the legacy, the founders, everything about the LPGA. You're just not getting that message.
Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a dog in that fight. I always thought that the LPGA and the PGA were two different entities, and if this was the LPGA championship, then why is it have PGA logo all over it? And so I don't really know what the deal is there, but I'm more attached to the choice of venue and them shoehorning people into Fields Ranch, where I just get the feeling it's like pushing people to play U.S. Opens at Erin Hills and Chambers Bay and places like that. It's just, we have iconic venues in this game, and the majors deserve iconic venues. They don't deserve to be playing a golf course that's 3 years old.
Exactly. They're part of a corporate deal.
Yep.
Speaking of corporate deal, probably a good time to throw this up here.
Yes, it's the Andy Hydorn LIV Report given to you this week by Alan Depew.
Well, my comments are A, James Piot. Piot? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Sure.
Okay. Well, he's playing in the PGA Tour I think it's this week. He's making his return to the PGA Tour because he's actually never, I believe, been on it. Because after his amateur, he went directly to LIV. Is that, Andy? You would know this.
I believe that is correct.
Okay. And the defending U.S. Senior Open champion cannot defend his title this week. Is it this week or next week?
Richard Bland?
Richard Bland, yes.
You mean my U.S. Senior Open championship?
That is your U.S. Open Senior Open champion. But he's gonna be near you because he's gonna be down in Dallas, being forced to play in the LIV event down there in order to try to keep his contract.
I wonder in a quiet room, like what he feels about that, Like maybe it's okay for him to be at the LIV Dallas event, but maybe he'd rather be, trying to get another senior U.S. Open.
I've got a strong field. I looked at some of the highlighted sort of the players in there. It's a really, really strong field.
It would have been a little stronger.
I agree.
They would have been wicked stronger.
Yeah, but hey, don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Okay, it's time for Don't Be That Guy. And for the first time in Quiet Please history, we have a repeat winner of Don't Be That Guy.
Oh, my God.
So our friend Wyndham Clark, who was easily the best choice for Don't Be That Guy last week, has pulled off the impossible and won again this week for his lame apology. Did you guys hear his apology?
I did.
His whole point was, we all have bad days, and I just don't want to talk about it. How about if you're in his shoes, you figure out something really nice you can do for Oakmont Country Club, like go up there and host a junior clinic or do something really nice. Don't just get in front of a microphone and say, I made a mistake and I don't want to talk about it. Guess what? The rest of the golf world isn't ready to have you turn off the lights on this deal because it was a ridiculous situation.
How about that? We could just move. We should probably just move along from this because for myself and for the USGA and for Oakmont, maybe they don't want to.
That's why he is the first repeat winner of Don't Be That Guy, and well deserved because this week is almost as bad as what he did the week before.
That takes talent.
It takes talent.
All right, so let me do this. Let me do this, and I got one more thing because we should probably chime in on this. I really positioned our faces in the wrong spot on that one, but contest. Our man BE, you heard us mention him earlier. He has made it available. The Cleveland Srixon giveaway. Quiet Please Golf. You need to follow us on either Instagram, X, or Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, share one of our last 3 shows on social, and listen or comment on one of our shows between now and July 7th. So I guess Joe Benesh is now eligible. He hasn't said a whole lot after Andy smacked him down there a little bit, gave him a little smack.
No, just it's a talk show. we share ideas back and forth.
You converse. So hey, if you would like to have this beauty, if I could, I don't think I can move the pictures. But let me just hop over to our Facebook page. It's a beautiful looking wedge in all American colors.
It's a good wedge.
It's a very good wedge. So
Roger Cleveland is back at Cleveland Golf, you know.
Mm-hmm.
18th hole. Who wants first?
I can go first.
Oh, Mr. Hydorn, go ahead.
Okay, so I love YouTube. I love YouTube golf. And my newest obsession with YouTube golf is my TPI, which is the Titleist Performance Institute. And one of their founders, Greg Rose, Dr. Greg Rose, you know, for those of you, I think most of you know that TPI is a fitness, you know, and strength conditioning sort of assessment and program, and they do a lot of really good work, and they have for a bunch of years. But this week I started really kind of diving in and watching these shows. And the thing that struck me is Greg Rose is not a golf instructor. But Greg Rose, through the understanding of data, both force plate data, 3D data, and club data, has turned into a really effective golf instructor, where he has these tour players come in with their coaches in tow, and he's telling them what's wrong with their golf swing, or even some of their short game stuff, and he's making some pretty interesting and bold suggestions to guys who play this game for a living or are sitting there with their coaches. So for those of you who might have an interest in stuff like that, my TPI on YouTube is a great spot to spend some time.
You know,
I might have to check that one out.
Well, I was in the Mid-Atlantic section when Dave Phillips was at Caves Valley as the instructor. Greg Rose was nearby. They got together. I was like around them when they first started that whole initiative, and then made the move west.
It's incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Oops, I forgot to do that. 18th green. Bobby.
Yeah, I got 2 things. One, with the heat, I've been telling some of the members and golfers, I got coached on this in Florida when I went to Florida. The best thing in the heat is to hit and sip. Don't wait till like 3 holes, go. Don't wait till the 9th hole, chug 2 waters. Even have some pretzels along the way to get a little bit of that. Some people think they need that certain, like, I don't know, ingredients to get put in water or whatever, which is great. But even just some chips and some pretzels, so you get a little bit of salt in there, and just literally just hit and sip, and you're good. And just don't wait till the end of the round to go, oh, I'm thirsty. The other thing is, I feel really bad. I couldn't make it home to Jeff Babineau's Celebration of Life. It was June 8th. But if anybody ends up playing Dennis Highlands Golf Course down the Cape, and there's a really neat bench in Jeff's memory. Our good friend Babs lives on the at Dennis Highlands down the Cape with this beautiful bench. So anybody want to get to Dennis Highlands, tee it up, and get to that bench, send us a photo, and we'll make sure that we keep Babs' memory alive.
100%. Following up on your hit and sip, we did a lot of golf again.
Alan, hit and sip is a different thing for you, okay?
It could be.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I've never, in the hot weather, I get it. You're not drinking beer, but I have never seen so many transfusions go out of that place the other day. That can't be good in the high heat. I'm just saying. I'm not. The business side of me, big fan. Yep. The medical side, that's a little questionable. All right, I got to chime in on this one because the Open Championship may be getting what everybody else has been trying to do, and it's happening naturally. YouTube golf star Peter Finch advances through the Open Championship local qualifier. How about that, Andy Hydorn?
Never heard of Peter Finch.
Well, he's apparently a YouTube star, exploded in popularity. Thank you for everybody. Peter Finch Golf.
He's got a good Open Championship name.
He does. He's made content with Grant and Rick Shields and Luke Donald, and so he's probably big in the UK.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that great? It's good. Good golf popularity. Tried to end on something exciting. Andy didn't have anything to. Didn't like that one. Okay.
This is your ball on the tee on the 18th hole. Mine is already down the fairway.
Well, I just hooked it in the rough.
Yeah.
And on that note, next week, boys.
Stay cool.
God.
You only have one opportunity to sell your golf property. Shouldn't you partner with an expert that offers you 30 plus years of golf industry experience combined with the reach of a global leader in real estate? Colliers International Golf Brokerage and Advisory Services understands your unique business needs. Whether it is brokerage, management, and consulting, be reassured that the market leader in the business of golf is providing you the real answers and practical solutions you deserve. Contact Golf Talk Live co-host and Colliers Golf Advisory Services member Alan Depew today at 717-554-8519. That's 717-554-8519.